Hey friends, and welcome to this new video. Finally, Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 is getting closer and closer. There are only 11 days left until the release of the new chapter, and the countdown is literally reaching its end. In this video, I want to focus on a very specific detail, but at the same time, a really interesting one. We're talking about the new mascot that Mob Entertainment is introducing, and more specifically, its face. Thanks to the ARG material, we've already seen some key elements, like this mascot with red arms, which has now become impossible to ignore. But the thing is, for now, the face is still a mystery. During the video, we'll look together at some details, small clues scattered here and there, that could give us a clearer idea of what this mascot will really look like and what it's hiding behind that still incomplete appearance. We're not talking about official confirmations, but about reasoning, connections, and theories that start to make more and more sense as we get closer to the game's release. Then let's be ready, because according to many theories, this mascot could finally be revealed in the final trailer, which should arrive just next week. If that's the case, we're really just one step away from one of the most important reveals of this chapter. Before we get into the main part of the video though, I want to ask you something quickly. If you're enjoying the content, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's a simple gesture, but it helps the channel grow a lot and allows me to keep bringing new videos about Poppy Playtime and everything that revolves around the game. That said, I'd say we can start right away, because there's a lot to talk about and some details really deserve attention. Let's go see what could be hiding behind the face of the new mascot of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. First of all, let's start with this image, which at the moment is also the most recent one we have. This image is the background image present on the official countdown website, the one that will end next Wednesday. And we already know that when this countdown reaches 0, something important will be revealed. They have never put such a clear countdown without a specific reason, so it's obvious they are preparing a reveal. Now let's focus on the image itself. Because if we analyze it carefully, a very interesting detail comes out. Behind this window we can notice a head that seems to be hiding. It's not fully visible, and if you look at it quickly, you might not even notice it. But if you stop for a moment and really analyze it, you can clearly recognize the presence of red fur with some yellow details as well. This red fur is not random because it is similar to the same color we have already seen on the red arm of the new mysterious mascot that emerged through the ARG material. So the connection feels almost natural. That color, that texture, really seem to belong to the same character. So now we can start making a pretty solid theory. What we are seeing behind the window could actually be a part of the face of the new mascot. Not just a random shadow, not a detail placed there by accident, but a real visual tease of the red character that has not been officially revealed yet. If this theory is correct, then the meaning of the countdown becomes even clearer. When the countdown ends, this character could finally show itself completely. Maybe first with a clearer image or directly through the final trailer. In both cases, it would be the moment of the official presentation of the new mascot. This image, which at first glance looks like just a background, could actually be one of the most important teasers we've seen so far. A small clue hidden in plain sight that gains more and more meaning as we get closer to the end of the countdown. I think that this detail is very important. Now I want to go back to talking about the mysterious face that is hidden in the VHS. It's a detail we had already seen before, but in my opinion today it takes on a completely different meaning. A few weeks ago, in fact, I showed you this hidden face in the ARG image that Mob Entertainment had published back in January. At the time, I theorized that it could be the face of the prototype, because it was the most logical hypothesis with the information we had at that moment. But now things have changed because we got new information. With what we know today, this theory can be easily debunked. In the latest VHS video, we clearly saw that the prototype has only one active eye. This is an important detail, because it was shown in a pretty direct way and doesn't leave much room for interpretation. If instead we go back and look at that hidden face we analyzed in January, we immediately notice a key difference. In that face, there are two eyes. This means it cannot be the prototype. The details don't match, and at this point we can almost rule it out completely. So the question becomes inevitable. If it's not the prototype, whose face is it? This is where things start to get really interesting. If we put together all the clues we've collected so far and try to rework them, we can even redraw this face in another way. So just like that, its appearance already changes a lot. What comes out is a face that's different from how we initially imagined it, and it is similar to the face that we saw in the countdown image. At this point, the new upcoming mascot comes into play. This face could belong exactly to her. It could be an early hint at the red mascot that still hasn't been officially revealed. A way to show us something without saying it directly, just like mob entertainment has done many times in the past. And if this hypothesis is correct, then there's another very interesting connection to make. This could also be the mascot of the VHS that we'll see in the game's intro. We know that each chapter uses the VHS to introduce key characters, so it wouldn't be strange at all if this new mascot is revealed right there. So that face, which at first seemed like just a mysterious detail, could actually be one of the first real concrete clues about the new character in Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. And the more we move forward, the more all these elements start to connect with each other in a clearer and clearer way. Now let's move on to the Steam page updates, because here too there are some interesting signals. If we go to SteamDB, which is the website that lets us see all the details of Steam pages, including real-time updates, we can notice something very specific. The Steam page for Chapter 1 has received several updates in the last few hours. We have to remember that Chapter 5 is a DLC of Chapter 1, so anything that gets updated on Chapter 1 can also be directly connected to Chapter 5. They're not two separate things, they're part of the same package. On top of that, Chapter 1 also includes the launcher, meaning the main menu that lets us choose which chapter to play. Right now, these updates we see on SteamDB are not visible updates. If you go to the Steam page, you won't notice any obvious changes. These are the classic behind-the-scenes updates, the technical ones, usually meant to prepare something bigger, but the interesting detail is the frequency. Recently, these updates have been happening more and more often. We have to consider some information. There are only 11 days left until the release of the new chapter, so it's hard to believe that all these updates are just random. In fact, it makes much more sense to think that they're fixing things and preparing everything for the release of Chapter 5. We also have to keep in mind that Chapter 1 will almost certainly receive a proper update with the new launcher that includes Chapter 5 as well. That's something that has to happen, because that's where access to the new content will come from. So these movements on SteamDB could be the final preparation stages. Basically, even if right now we don't see anything concrete on the Steam page, these updates tell a very clear story. The team is working, they're getting everything ready, and they're putting all the pieces in place. And considering how close we are to the release, I'd say this is the moment to stay ready, because something official could drop at any time. We are in the last part of the video. We analyzed the countdown image, where a head with red fur seems to be hiding, a detail that can be directly linked to the new mascot that hasn't been revealed yet. Then we went back to the mysterious face seen in the ARG VHS, understanding that it can't be the prototype and could instead belong to the new upcoming mascot. Finally, we looked at the updates on SteamDB, which show us how Chapter 1 has been receiving more and more behind-the-scenes updates, probably in preparation for the arrival of Chapter 5. All these elements together point to one thing: we are really getting close to an important reveal. Only 11 days left and the countdown is about to end, so it's very likely that in the next few days we'll finally see something official. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye and see you soon.